Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another Chillview. It's been a while since I made a video, mostly because I've been really busy, and I'm really exhausted, but I'm back. Before we delve deep into the dark world of the Northman, I want to do a bit of a plug-in. I'm on Letterboxd. I tried in the past to branch out to other social media websites, but it never really panned out at the end. It's also the only social media site that I use that doesn't make me feel like my brain is being fried. I'll be linking my Letterboxd account in the description down below, so go check me out if you have the time. So the big question on everyone's mind at the moment is The Northman just as good as The Lighthouse? And the simple answer is, no it isn't. Is it, however, a good movie? Not only is it a good movie, it's a great movie. Right from the opening shot, I was hooked, man. The very first opening shot to this movie is this giant erupting volcano. And you have this narrator in the background going something to the extent of, "A mighty warrior from the north shall rise and feast in the halls of Valhalla." Let me tell you, after that, my blood was pumping. As to be expected from Robert Eggers, really stunning movie. Great use of color, lighting, and cinematography. This film looks jaw-dropping. I'd even say it might be so far his best looking film due to the fact of how varied the locations are. The one thing that did surprise me the most were the action sequences. I'm gonna be honest, I was a bit worried, but I was blown away. There's this one scene in particular where these barbaric Viking warriors are reaching a gate of a town, and that entire besiege was all one take. It was glorious. The story of the Northman is pretty standard, for a lack of a better term, compared to The Lighthouse. The characters and the acting across the board were pretty great. Even with the villains of the story, I understood their motivation and where they were coming from to an extent. What surprised me the most was the story seemed to try and deconstruct the myth of the Viking, if that makes sense. The religious traditions the Northmen follow is portrayed in a very horrific way. A lot of the horror elements come from that. There wasn't anything badass about the culture of the Viking. The whole religion was created to justify war, enslavement, and how it encouraged these men who later became these Viking raiders to disregard their humanity and become these bloodthirsty savages that want nothing more but destruction and murder. It's really grim, and it's that type of angle I wasn't expecting in this movie. The biggest worry people had with this movie was how much was the studio involved? Because there was this big controversy surrounding the film that there was some studio involvement. I'm happy to report it wasn't as noticeable, but there were instances where it was clearly visible. There's this one particular scene with the main character, and there's a corpse in front of him holding a sword, and there is a jump scare revolving that. It is the worst jump scare I think I've ever seen in film. Clearly, Robert Eggers had no choice in the matter. I'm picturing it already, you know? Robert Eggers and his editors are in the editing room having a blast. And then this mafioso-looking producer with two bodyguards walks in and he goes, "Hey kid, where's the jump scare? Isn't this meant to be a horror movie or something?" And then Robert Eggers turns to the producer and goes, "No, Mr. Producer, you know, I'm trying to do my own thing. It doesn't really fit any other genre." And then the mafioso-looking producer turns to his 8-foot-tall bodyguard. And the bodyguard whips out this big crowbar. And then the mafioso producer turns to Robert Eggers and goes, "Look, kid, you don't want to break our agreement, do you? You don't want to break our partnership, do you?" And then Robert Eggers sighs and goes, "Okay, I'll add a stinger." The soundtrack also wasn't as memorable to me, which is a bit of a shame because The Witch and The Lighthouse I'll forever remember those scores. The Northman didn't really have that. Though it isn't as good as The Lighthouse, I can still safely recommend you to watch The Northman. Especially if you're new to the works of Robert Eggers. I think The Northman might be the best film to start off with. So thank you very much for enjoying today's Chillview, and until we see each other again, bye.